Hey builders, welcome to the cutting edge of on-chain social commerce. This guide will show you how to combine the powers of Miniapps on TBA with the seamless payment experience of x402, all powered by Coinbase Developer Platform. For too long, monetizing digital experiences on social feeds has been clunky. Users are forced to leave the app, manually connect their wallets, and navigate through complex checkout flows. This friction kills conversion. Miniapps and x402 are here to change that. Miniapps are lightweight, full-featured web apps that run directly inside a user's TBA feed. X402 breathes life into the dormant HTTP 402 payment required status code, turning any digital API endpoint into a digital vending machine that accepts on-chain payments as easy as loading a web page. In this tutorial, we'll build a fun, monetized on-chain Fortune Cookie Miniapp from scratch. We will first set up a project using the official Coinbase Developer Platform template, then build our own custom backend API with the X402 Paywall setup. After that, we'll build a slick React frontend to handle the entire user flow, and then we'll finish it off by adding premium pricing, the custom x402 implementation. This is the blueprint of future of on-chain social commerce. Let's get building. So first, let's set up our project using the official Coinbase Developer Platform x402 Miniapp template. So I'm already on my terminal over here. Just follow my commands if you're following along. So first, we'll use the git clone command to officially clone the template from Coinbase x402.get. So I just enter. This will clone the template. And once that is done, now we can navigate to the x402 Miniapp template. So you can use a cd command, cd x402, examples, TypeScript, fullstack, and inside that Farcaster Miniapp. So once that is done, hit enter, and then we'll install the dependencies. So pm install. So this might take some time as is a huge workspace. So just wait patiently. So once you're done with the installation, we can navigate back to the original x402 directly. So I'll just use a command for that. And yeah, we'll build the dependencies. So this is a very critical step. Make sure to build the dependencies or else the development server commands will not work. So I'll just run pm del. So the last one I navigate to the wrong directory, but and that's why the pm build command did run. But this time we navigate back to the TypeScript directory, and here we'll run the build function. So this should work. So this will run the turbo run build command. And this might take some time. We just wait patiently and wait for the build to finish. So once you're done with the build, you can navigate back to the Farcaster Miniapp template. And here, from here, we can open up the ID and set up our project over there. Once you're done with the project setup and open up the project in an ID, you will find the project structure over here with the app folder, public folders, and the various other configuration files. So here, let's navigate to env.example and see what are the environment variables that we will be for this application. So first of all, we have the on-chain kit configuration. So here, make sure that we have the on-chain kit API key ready and the project name. So the project name for this one would be Onchain Fortune Cookie. After that, we have the app URLs and images. We have to make sure that you update this after ngrok or any kind of deployments. So make sure that you update the app URLs and images according to the deployments. So we have next for big URL, app hero image, icon, splash image, and the various other app related URLs and images. Next, we have the x402 payment configuration. This is one of the most important ENV configuration for this to make sure that the payments work. So in the resource wallet address, make sure that we have kept your wallet address over here. So this wallet address would receive the payments for regarding any x402 related payments that are done. So for example, if any user comes to your app and initiates payment, this is the destination wallet where the funds would be sent. Next, we have the network, which will be based upon here, and we'll be running this app on testnet. After that, we have the CDP wallet configurations. We have the CDP API key ID and the API key secret. So make sure that you have kept that as well. And then we have the Farcaster metadata and Redis configuration, which will leave empty for now, as this is only made for Farcaster specific configuration, like frame metadata and Redis config. And we are not going to implement notifications for this app. So that's with the ENV template. So make sure that you have all of this environment variables ready if you're coding along or if you want to build this app. So now let's start the development part of this project by starting out with the creation of the backend APIs and setting up the x402 paywall for them. So in the app folder, just navigate to the API folder and here, create another folder of Fortune. And inside this, we would have our first route, which would be route.close. And this would be just a simple route which takes a Fortune sentence from sentences. So we will have a random function which would randomly pick a fortune center from this array of sentences. So I already have the functions. So first of all, we have the next response from next servers, and then we have some sentences inside this fortune array. So like some of the sentences like your next transaction when you blush with low gas fees, etc., etc. Next, we have the get function. So this code should only run after a successful payment, which will set up in the middleware .ts shortly. So here we have a random index and a random index function. We will make sure that we get some random fortune every time this API is called, and then we'll return the next response in the JSON format with the fortune and the timestamp. So now we are done with the fortune.ts. Now we'll create another route for the golden fortune, which would have a slightly higher price for golden fortunes in application. So just navigate to the API folder here. Inside the API folder, just create another folder, golden fortune. And inside this, we create another route.ts. And here you would have the logic for golden fortune route.ts API as well. So first we have the next response from next servers, then we have a golden fortunes array list, and then the same random logic for which we applied in the fortune route.ts as well. This would have some golden fortunes array list, and we make sure that we add another response to the JSON, which would be is golden to boolean true, and then we have the fortune and the timestamp. So now that we are done with the API implementations, now we can navigate to the middleware.ts and apply x402 paywall for this API routes. So now I'll just navigate to the middleware.ts where we have the x402 paywall setup. So this x402 paywall is set up according to the template. Now we will change this according to Onchain Fortune application. So I already have the code. I'll just replace the code with the code that we have for Onchain Fortune app. So first we have the facilitator from Coinbase x402. This is one of the most important components and parts of the x402 paywall system. The facilitator is the one which syncs with the blockchain and makes sure that the payments are done properly and the transactions are finalized on chain. Next, we have address from VN. So the address utility from VN and the payment middleware for x402 payments. This is the next important package that we would be using for setting up the x402 paywall. So the payment middleware package is the one which actually set up the middleware without any manual configuration directly from the x402 next package. After that, we have some constants like the resource wallet address setup. So this is the address where the payments would be sent. And next we have the network setup, which would be from the Env itself. If it's not set up in the Env, it will default to base support. For the reason, we validate the required environment variables and make sure that zero addresses are not set up and the resource wallet address setup is done properly. After that, we have the middleware. So here it's this simple configuration where we directly use the payment middleware input from x402 next with the resource wallet address. So the first parameter here would be the resource wallet address, and then we have the object where we set up the x402 payload. So we have the first API over here, which would be API/fortune with the price, network, and the config with the description. And then we have the next API, which is a golden fortune with a slightly higher price, network, config, and description. Once that is done, our last parameter would be the facilitator, which makes sure that the payments are properly set up and finalized on chain. After that, we export this config with the matcher and the runtime. So now we are done with the x402 paywall and backend API configurations. Now we can successfully use this x402 paywall protected APIs in a page.tsx and build an application. I'll just remove the current page.tsx content. So I'll just remove this. And here we will have our on-chain Fortune apps configurations and designs. So first we'll start with the inputs. So already have the inputs over here. So first we make sure the use client is set up. And then we have the Minikit inputs like use Minikit and use action from Coinbase on-chain Minikit. After that, we have the Coinbase on-chain kit wallet inputs like connect wallet, wallet dropdown, and wallet dropdown disconnect. Once that is done, we have the identity imports like name, address, avatar, read balance. And then we have the React imports like use effect, use memo, use state, and use throwback. Well, after that, we have the user account value import and SDK from Farcaster Frame SDK. And then we have the x402 fetch import, which we use to make sure the payment configurations are properly set up whenever a user tries to pay for a fortune. So we'll use wrap fetch with payment from x402 fetch for this. Once that is done, we have the get wallet client from Redmi Actions and create config HTTP from Redmi Co. This Apolia and this configuration from Redmi and create client from here. So that's our inputs. Now we can move to the use state variables and the various global functions that we would need for this page of basics. So here we have the export default function app, which would be our main component. And here we will start with the use state variables first. So we have them over here. So first we have the use Miniapp configuration setup. Then we have the various use state variables like frame added, Miniapp is loading, fortune, golden fortune use state variables, and the error use state variables as well. After that, we have the user account setup where we such address is connected chain ID from the user account or hook. Now that is then we have the add frame from user add frame, and then we set up the config for Wedney using create config on chains base and base support with the client chain setup. So this will return the create client with the chain and the transport HTTP. After this, we'll set up our Farcaster Miniapp configurations. So I already have them over here. So first, we initialize the Farcaster Miniapp SDK using the user tool. So here we have the init Miniapp function. And here we make sure the SDK.actions.ready is called. And then we use the SDK.isMiniapp method as well. And use it with the use state variables. And then if there are any errors, it will show us that this is not running in the Miniapp context or the SDK is not available. So once we have the user fed hook ready, we'll call the init Miniapp function as well. And then we have the user fed for set frame ready. So we have already set this up before itself. And once that is done, we have the handle add frame with the use callback function where we make sure the frame addition is properly done. So this is the Farcaster Miniapp SDK configurations. Now that we are done with this, now we can move to the main app configurations like setting up x402 payments and the other app components. So here, I already have the functions. We'll go through this line by line and see how the add specific functions work. So first of all, we have the get fortune function, which should make sure that we fetch the fortune APIs properly. So first we have, we make sure the wallet is connected and we have set up the state management variables properly. Then we have the endpoint management logic where we first make sure that if it's a golden API request and golden fortune API request, it calls the API for golden fortune. Once it isn't, we use a get wallet client to get the wallet client for this particular wallet. And then we make sure that the wallet client is properly set up. And if not, it will show us a wallet client not available. Once that is done, we have the fetch with payment function. So for x402 fetch, we need to pass this wallet client that we set up before using the get fortune function. So here, fetch with payment, we use a wrap fetch with payment export from x402 fetch package. And here we use parameters like the fetch object and the wallet client, which we just addressed before. As a result, we have the try catch block where we get the response using fetch with payment with the endpoint and the method get. And if the response is not okay, it will throw an error. And if we were successfully able to get the data, it will pass the data properly using response.json. And then if the fortune is a golden fortune, it will set up the golden fortune use state variable. If not, it will set up the normal fortune use state variable. And then we finish off the try catch block using with the catch error block, making sure that if there are any errors, we are able to see the errors in console and debug it properly. So now that we are done with almost all of the functions that we need for this application, we'll add a final function which would save the frames to the user profile. So I already have the function over here. So basically this save frame button would actually save the frame to the user's Farcaster profile. So here we use the use memo hook, and we have the button to save the frame for the user. So here we use the handle add frame function, and on click this would be triggered. And if the frame is added, it will show on the UI there to the user that the frame has been added and the frame has been saved to the user profile. So now we are done with all of the global functions and global state variables that we need. Now we can finish off this Onchain Fortune app with the written component of this page.js. So already at the written component over here, I'm just going to print through this written component because it's mostly just design elements. So we'll just navigate that to the written component. And here we have some header divs, and then we have the usage of connect wallet components, wallet dropdown components, and the various on-chain tip components. Then we have the hero section, the connection status card, the fortune buttons, where we use the get fortune functionalities. And once that is done, we also have the golden fortune button as well, and the fortune display buttons as well. After that, finally, we have the error display and some instructions like if you want standard fortune or golden fortune. And with that, application is complete. Now, we just have to do some changes to the global.css and we would be done this application. So here is the global of CSS, and we just going to add some animations or animation CSS styling. So it's up to you if you want to add this or not. I just added this just to make sure that our app looks good. So now after this, we'll navigate to the dot well known folder, and here in the Farcaster.json, we need to change the Farcaster.json configuration according to our application. So just navigate to the route.ps folder. So currently this is set up for the template project, so we are going to change this and we'll paste application configurations over here. So first of all, make sure that the function with valid property is set up. So we have here written object.from entries, which make sure that the objects and objects are properly set up for this Farcaster configuration. And then we have the get functionality, so or the get route. So first we get the URL from Env using next public URL, and then we create the frame embed for our Fortune Cookie app. So we have various properties like version, image URL, buttons, etc., etc. Then we have the response.json where we first written the account authentication with the header, payload, signature. This is similar to the template setup itself. And then we have the frame configuration with the properties of our Onchain Fortune Cookie app. So version name, subtitle, and the various other numerous parameters that we would need for this Farcaster Miniapp. So make sure that you are properly setting this up as this important configuration for your whole Miniapp, as this default configuration is not set up in the TB or any Farcaster client Miniapps. Now that we have finished the development of our application, now let's test it out in the preview tool of Farcaster. So before that, make sure that you have set up your Env locals properly with the CDP API key and the other configurations. So now I'll just run npm run dev. First, start this application on localhost. So now it's running on localhost, but you can't paste this localhost URL on Farcaster because it won't be able to recognize it as this is the localhost URL. So now we need to temporarily host this URL and on the live net to make sure that Farcaster is able to access this website. So for that, we'll use ngrok tunnels. So just install ngrok in your system using the ngrok docs. I will give the links in the description as well. So I already have the command ngrok http 3000. So here we already have the live URL. So it's currently forwarding from localhost 3000. So I'll just copy this first. So I'll just copy this. And then navigate to developers. So here, just navigate to developers, Farcaster.exist XYC / developers. Here you can find all of the various developer tools like embed tools, manifest, preview tools, etc. So we'll be using the preview tool to preview a URL as a Miniapp. So I'll just click on this and we'll paste a temporary hostel and ngrok URL over here. So now let me open this URL as a Miniapp. So as ngrok free hosting has a barrier when we first visit the website. So first of all, I'll less thing for now. So here, as you can see, it's showing the same barrier page once we first visit an ngrok free on a hosted website. I'll click on visit website. So once you click on visit website, it takes some time to load the website. So we'll just wait. And yeah, it has successfully loaded. Now we'll wait for the wallet to automatically connect. So this is one of the qualities of Farcaster. It automatically connects any Miniapp which has already configured a wallet connection for the application to the embedded Farcaster wallet. So we will wait for the wallet to get connected. It will show status over here. So now, as you can see, the wallet is automatically connected. So this was automatically connected to my Farcaster embed wallet. So here we have the various for fortune configurations that we have picked, the golden fortune and the get fortune. So first, let's try to get the normal fortune. So I'll just click on get fortune. And here you will see the magic of x402. So as you can see, There were no external payment configurations, no external payment pop-ups. Directly, you can see the pop-up inside the Farcaster mini application. So here it shows the confirmed transaction with all of the state changes, detections, and the network. So uh, if you click on this, it will show us the raw data as well, the contract address. So as you can see, we configured USDC before with the verifying contract message, etc. So now I'll click confirm on those, and it should process the payment directly from the embedded wallet. Already have some test use PC over there, and yep, we were successfully able to um, pay the X402 payment and get fortune as well. So this one was a wild drop appears. It's super effective. So now let's try to get the golden fortune. So I'll just click on this, and again it will show us the same transaction forward, but this time for $0.1. So I'll just click confirm. So yeah, we were able to successfully do this transaction as well. So here it shows you have found the legendary diamond handle hold for unimaginable games. So yeah, so we were successfully able to harness the power of X402 inside Farcaster mini applications, and by this we can configure any kinds of payments for mini applications using X402 and Farcaster and Wow. Congratulations, you successfully built a multi-tiered monetized mini app from scratch. You now have the complete blueprint for building the next generation of on-chain social applications. For a deeper dive into the X402 protocol and more advanced use cases, check out the official X402 documentation at docs.cdp.coinbase.com. And also check out other services provided by Coinbase Developer Platform at the same documentation. Also, if you have any questions or if you want to show what you're building, you can always join the conversation at CDP Discord. And if you want more such guides on Web3 or on-chain applications, make sure to check out handlers.com as well. If you found this guide from Handlers valuable, please hit that like button, share it with other builders, and let us know what you're building in the comments below. Thanks for building with me today. See you in the next one.